Are you tired of procrastinating? Do you just want to be able to focus and do the things that you know you need to do to create your purpose or your calling or just something that you feel in your heart or maybe just some other thing that you know you keep putting off? By the end of this video, you're going to understand why we procrastinate and a few strategies that you can use in order to overcome it. If you haven't already subscribed, sign up now to get more videos supporting you in your journey of creating your calling. Procrastination is brutal. It actually put me into a total state of chaos in my life. I was trying to start a business and I almost failed miserably. It created a whole financial mess that I was in. And fortunately, I was able to break through that, overcome it, created a successful international brand that's worked with thousands of clients. And what I'm going to share with you is what I use for myself, what I share with the clients I work with, what I've shared on stages to thousands of people, and I've been able to write a couple books, and both of these books I was able to crush out in no time just when I overcame what was holding me back and able to get in the zone. So first off, procrastination isn't actually a bad thing usually on some level, even though it can destroy our lives. It put me in a financial mess. So what do I mean by that? I was miserable at a job I'd been working at for years, and I really just wanted to go out and start my own business. So I finally got the courage to quit and go start my own thing. It felt amazing, but then I struggled so hard. See, I was really uncomfortable with sales and marketing. I was afraid of rejection. I didn't want to be salesy. I didn't want to be annoying. I hated sales, right? And so because I had that deep down that I was afraid of going out and being judged and all of failing and all of this, my subconscious was continually trying to protect me. So it was trying to protect me from doing this thing that was going to potentially put me in danger. Does that make sense? See, I didn't understand any of this at the time. I learned all this years later. But looking back, I realized that it was this sort of tug of war inside of where I needed to go out and sell and do these things in order to grow this business. But I was so afraid of that because of my beliefs about it and my beliefs about what could happen and my fears that then I would procrastinate. But my procrastination then put me into this whole financial mess and created this whole cycle and kind of had me stuck in this realm. So as a result, I had to break through and deal with that or quit the business. I mean, that was really my choices. Like I couldn't grow a business if I wasn't going to sell products, right? So here's the amazing thing. As I got to this point of absolute desperation, I was so broke, I had to move out of my apartment, my credit cards were maxed out, and my cell phone was getting cut off and disconnected, I should say, and you know, it was just brutal. I couldn't keep up with my bills. So I got in such a bad position that it forced me where I was like, okay, either I'm going to have to overcome this fear, this block, and face this, or I've got to quit and go back to that job. But I really didn't want to quit and go back to the job, so I decided to face it. And I just started going out, and at that time I was going door to door doing sales, right? Which is a tough game. And as I did it, I was so afraid of being rejected. And frankly, I did get rejected a little bit. I had some people that were kind of annoyed that I was there bothering them. But a funny thing happened. As I kept doing it, slowly I broke through that discomfort. I got to where I was like, oh, I got rejected. It didn't even really seem to matter. And as I broke through that, I changed my beliefs about it, and it didn't really matter if I got rejected or not. I got more comfortable. Now, here's a really interesting thing. As I got more comfortable with it, my approach and the way that I showed up changed. It was like I showed up in this way of like, here, got this, no big deal, and I got more confident about it. And then as I got more confident, I got less rejection. How fascinating is that? It was like when I was in that place of being afraid of rejection, I created more of that in my life and attracted more rejection. Once I got more confidence, I started to attract people that were interested. And then over time, I changed my whole beliefs about it completely, where I recognized that I had this opportunity to go out and help people and serve people, and that's what selling really was. So as I changed my beliefs, I started to overcome my fears, and I overcame the procrastination. I started to actually enjoy going out and meeting new people and finding new opportunities, which is why I ended up growing the business so quickly and building a team around me. Now, if this is resonating with you in any way that you can see there's something that you're stuck trying to get through, and you know that you need to break through that too, like below or comment below and share with me what is the thing that you know that you're procrastinating that you need to break through. And if you like the video below, then that shows YouTube that people like you like to watch this, and it'll show my video to more people. So that type of procrastination is what I call a belief dependent procrastination. It's we're procrastinating because we have these beliefs about something that we're feeling uncomfortable about. Now the brain is hardwired, our mind is designed to keep us safe. It's not designed to help us achieve our goals and be the best that we can be in life. That the brain is here as this tool trying to keep us safe, and it has two key things that it's doing. It's either trying to take us closer towards what could be pleasurable and keep us away from what could be painful. And so in the where I had those beliefs about that, then it was wanting to avoid going out to do something that was potentially painful, right? So from that knowing, from understanding that, you can see how the procrastination is actually a part of my mind that was trying to serve me in that way and keep me from experiencing that pain. Well, that's not a bad thing, right? It doesn't serve me, but it's seeing that at some level, it's not necessarily a bad intention. So the other type of procrastination, which is kind of related, is what I call state-dependent procrastination. So all that I mean by that is, what kind of state are we in? So it's kind of like being in a low energy, low vibe state, and then now being in a place of when I try to look at something that I want to go and do, having less motivation, less energy because I'm in this low vibe state. So if you can think of any time that you've been in high energy, you feel amazing, you're positive, you're upbeat, things, you're just really in the zone, and then think about going and doing something or tackling something, it can often seem easier than when you're in a low vibe and you're like, I don't even want to deal with that thing, right? So it's basically like when our energy's up and we're in that higher vibe state, then we have that in our body to almost look at those things, and our beliefs aren't having the same impact as when we're in a lower vibe state, if that makes sense. So those are the two key types that can really affect the type of state that we're in, but then also the beliefs that we have. Next, I'm going to share with you how to overcome those and what we can do about it. All right, so we know what procrastination is. It's either limiting beliefs of some sort that's getting in our way, or it's state dependent. So what are the ways to overcome it? So one way is being in a state of desperation, which is kind of like the situation that I was in, where I just didn't have a choice, but I had to face what was in my way. Often we have this when we've got a deadline. Have you ever had the experience where you've got a deadline of something? Maybe it's something, say, when you were in school or at work or somewhere, or everyday life, and we get to this point where we're like, I don't have any choice but to deal with this. So that's the motivation of desperation. We kind of get to this point where we have to push through that part of our brain, because if you think about what's happening is we're avoiding the discomfort of dealing with this thing until it gets to this point where now it's going to be more uncomfortable, more pain if we don't do it. So it creates this tipping point where we have to do it. So desperation is one way, and we can trick ourselves in the story that we create and what we tell ourselves about the thing. We can use that to trick ourselves into being motivated to do stuff. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that after. So another way to break through is extreme emotional events. Now, this isn't very comfortable. This is when people have a major life-altering situation, event. Think about when people have a heart attack, they lose a loved one, car accident, like just something horrible that's extremely emotional. And what happens is it creates a shift in the person's identity. Think the values can change, things that they were putting off and not focusing on before can change. All of that can happen. Now, that's not really the kind of way that we want to make change. Neither of those first two are the most ideal ways to change procrastination. So a third way is working with the right coach, therapist, somebody that can guide you to overcome, to face what's going on, to deal with maybe the beliefs that are there, whatever it may be. That's a really powerful way to do that if you've got the right person that knows how to guide you in that. But the last way that I'm going to share with you, which is super powerful, really simple, it takes very little cost, effort, anything like that, is using mind programming techniques. So visualization work is one of the most powerful. Let me share a little bit about it. So I use visualizations with myself. I've been doing it for years, and with my clients, I've been sharing it on stages, shared all over the place. So what visualization does, now I'm not going to go too deep into this here, but basically what it does is it programs or pre-wires. It's like a training for our brain to get us to overcome situations or see things differently or program ourselves that we're pulled towards. So I use visualizations to, that's how I wrote my books, because I got to this point where it started with this one. I wanted to write a book, and I thought about it, procrastinated, and this is years after my struggle, after I've already built a business and had the team, and I've traveled the world, and I'm speaking on stages, and yet I wanted to write a book, and what happened? I was procrastinating again. And so then I was like, oh no, I need to use the tools that I've learned. And so I started visualizing. I crushed this book out in about 4 weeks. I wrote this one while running the company and doing everything else. And then again, just this past year, this was a few years ago, I just wanted to write another book about procrastination, about creating the thing that we feel pulled to create. And I wrote this one in a few months. It's called Stop Procrastinating Your Purpose. And at this point, I've got two little girls under 3 years old, still running a business, doing other things, and still was able to write this book in a really short time. And it all goes back to morning visualization work that takes very little time, but it just aligns and gets me in the zone to charge ahead. All right, so if you want to learn more about how to visualize, how to retrain your brain, hack your brain for success, to create whatever it is you want to do and overcome whatever's in your way, there's a very specific ways that I do it, ways that I teach people to do it, that gets to your subconscious in multiple levels, just different ways of basically using that to make it most effective, most productive in the morning. You can click a link and go sign up and get a free tutorial, a free little training session where I'm going to go into it, teach you how to do it. If you really like this video, you resonate with this, please like, share, subscribe. I would love for all of that. Now, lastly, I also have, if you like, a free copy of my new book called Stop Procrastinating Your Purpose. So you can click, there's a link available for that one as well. And this book's going to go deeper into everything that I just talked about, sharing more about why we procrastinate, how we do it, how to overcome it, all the different ways. You can sign up, you can get a free copy, just pay the shipping, and click the link that's going to be available below. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to hear from you. Also take a look at my other videos, what's available, and learn more about how we sabotage ourselves and how to overcome that, and ultimately create that thing that you feel in your heart that you know is there. And if you have that feeling that I do, where you have a calling, you're pulled to do something great, you know that you have something inside you that you want to go out and do, now is the time. People need to hear from you. You need to share this with the world. Do not put it off for another day. Whether it's checking out one of my resources or finding other support out there, make sure you focus on it and go out there and live your dreams. All right, thank you.